Audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. Want to win in life's challenges? To know the will of God and have more passion for Him? Practical help right now with Tak Bhana and Running with Fire.
I believe right now God is beginning to set people on fire. More fire than they've ever had before. Why would that be? Because headwinds are blowing. It's getting harder and harder to maintain a strong faith. There's opposition, there's criticism, laws are being passed that are anti-Christian, as it were. And so in order for us to push through the opposition, to serve God with passion, we're going to need more and more fire in our lives. And so I think God is beginning to fill people with more fire. And I'm praying for more fire in my own life. So how can we increase and guard the fire in our lives? So number one, it goes without saying, personal devotional life. You know, the true test of your walk with God, the level of fire that you have, is the quality of your time when you are alone with God, in your room, in the closet. There's no musician, there's no preacher, there's no friends, maybe there's not even any music. There's you, there's God. What have you got? What is there? How much is there? So many people, it's very easy to be propped up. It's borrowed fire. Hey, anyone can be on fire in church, but it's borrowed. We can't live on borrowed fire because when you get alone with God, or when you get alone out in the world by yourself, you got to have your own fire. And the key to that, of course, is your own personal devotional life. Mark 14, verse 37 to 38. He came and found them sleeping and said to Peter, Simon, are you sleeping? Could you not watch 1 hour? Watch and pray lest you enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Prayer is a key to resist the onslaught of temptation and worldly desires. Do you know people backslide? Do you know how they backslide? They backslide in private, in their devotional life, in their time with God, before they fall in public. We've got to guard our time alone with God and keep it strong. Second way to increase our fire is a love for God's house. Psalm 69:7 says, zeal for your house has eaten me up. You know, the church is the hope of the world. So loving God's house, being in the church, serving, feed your fire. As you pour out for God, He will pour into you. You know the story of the River Jordan. It's full of life and it flows into the Dead Sea. But in the Dead Sea, there is no life. Why? Because with the River Jordan, there's an inflow of water, but there's also an outflow into the Dead Sea, and life abounds. But with the Dead Sea, there's just inflow and no outflow. Nothing can live in the Dead Sea. And so when we don't serve, when we're just consumers, we receive, we get, and we don't give out, then slowly we die on the inside. I love the statement of John Wesley. They asked him, how do you get such big crowds? He said, I set myself on fire and they come to watch me burn. Why don't you make that you? Why don't you be that person that people come to watch burn? A third way to increase the fire in your life is a heart for the Great Commission. Acts chapter 1 verse 8, you shall receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you. You shall be witnesses to me in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and the ends of the earth. The Holy Spirit and fire was given so we can be witnesses for Jesus. Fulfill the Great Commission. Join God in His heart of reaching a lost world. You know, you might say, but I'm not a preacher. Yes, you are. We go out and preach the gospel. How do you preach? You preach with your life. That's your best preaching. Anyone can preach from a pulpit. I want to know how you preach off the pulpit. How well do you preach at home with your life, at school, at church, in the workplace, with your friends? How well do you preach there with your life? So we are preaching 24/7. People want a pulpit to preach from. You've got a pulpit 24/7. I get tired of people wanting a pulpit because they've already got one. In fact, I have a policy in my life that I like to think I want people to preach better off the pulpit, official platform pulpit. I want to preach better off it than actually on it. So our life off the platform needs to be better. So a heart for the Great Commission is one way. If we get into that and we want to share Jesus with other people, however we do it, even with just our lifestyle, doesn't mean necessarily knocking on doors. I believe when we're into helping fulfill the Great Commission, God will increase the fire in our lives.
Tak Bhana is the Senior Pastor of Church Unlimited in Auckland, New Zealand. For more information, to make contact or to listen again, look for Running with Fire at our website, vision.org.au. Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.